All right. In the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Amen. It's good that you guys are back. I didn't scare you away the first time. It's kind of a good thing, I think. I want to start off with a prayer that is it's more of a sermon than a prayer, but I think it could work as a prayer, like a good prayer. And I'd like us all to pray together. It actually comes from page 308 in your Catechism for Adults. You guys got your catechism? 308. If you don't, just listen attentively. And these are what are called the Beatitudes. They're blessings. And this is what Jesus kind of, when he's preaching, he actually preaches about how you're actually blessed and you should be happy when you're poor, when you're suffering, when you're sick, when you're mourning, and all these other things. And that sounds awkward. And I hope I can kind of explain why that's like, why as Christians we believe these things. It starts with, blessed are the poor in spirit, okay? Pray them with me. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are they who mourn, for they will be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the land. Blessed are they who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be satisfied. Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. Blessed are the clean of heart, for they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. Blessed are they who are persecuted for the sake of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. And earmark that, we're going to close today's session praying the Beatitudes again. This is going to be kind of an interactive lesson. I might ask you guys to give me some ideas and things like that. But I first want to set up the stage in kind of like this big macro sense of what Jesus did before we can answer the question, like, what is he calling you to do and why is he calling you to do that, right? So in the beginning was creation, and we were created good, and we were created in a good relationship. We were created in a good relationship with a lot of things. And then all of a sudden, for no reason other than we're sinful, we rupture it. Mankind brings in sin. Mankind brings in suffering and death with its disobedience and its desire to become God in a lot of ways. And that's where we are. And I wrote in here, wounded, because we don't believe that relationship was completely severed. We believe that it was wounded. We believe that nature is fallen. Have you ever, had to pick someone up after they fell? Right? They fell, they need help being picked up. And that's what happened to us. We fell. We're down on the ground. We need to be picked up. But while we're down on the ground, there's a lot of relationships that are wounded. And I'd like us to brainstorm together. What relationships are wounded by original sin? Guys, the first graders and second graders can answer this. I know you guys can too. What relationships are wounded right now in your life that you would say are not perfect? What relationships? Our relationship with God. And I'm going to rank that one number one. And a lot of theologians would actually say it's also a relationship between God and man, right? Or the Creator and the created. God, man. Good. Where'd I put my book that I was throwing around? That's over there. That's good. It's a problem when you throw things around. You kind of lose them. Okay. What's another relationship that was ruptured? Or I shouldn't say ruptured, wounded. From the student section, I'm going to go in the back. What's a relationship that's been wounded, guys? Yeah. Between what? Yeah, but we can actually say that. And that's going to be number 3. Wound number 3. And the answer was between man and woman, or man and man and community, right? We see this right away with Cain and Abel. What happened there? Cain got jealous that Abel made a better gift to God, and Cain actually kills his brother. And so our relationships are wounded with our fellow men. We get angry, we get hateful, we get prideful, we judge, right? Have you guys done these things? I have. I've done it a lot. Number 3. Let's write this one, man and men. Or man and man, woman and woman. I don't want to write all day, but you get the idea. We have problems in our family. We have problems in our community. We have problems in our relationships with others. We have problems with our friends. We make enemies. We go to war. We kill each other, right? Have you guys seen what's been happening in the Ukraine? People are going over there with guns and shooting other people. Guys, that's not how God intended us to live. War is not of God. War is an effect of our fallen nature. Because God is peace and love, right? What's another wound? There's 2 more that I want. Yeah. Man and earth, exactly. That's a good one. Number 2. Man and earth. I'm going to put in here creation. Very good. We don't take care of our environment. We pollute a lot. We don't share our goods with each other. We hoard things. We're abusive. Abusive to animals and stuff like that. What's another one? Last one. Yes? Exactly. A relationship with ourself. See, you guys are good. You didn't let those 1st and 2nd graders beat you. Man and himself. Okay. So here is our broad categories of relationship problems we have. Okay? We're fallen creation. Now, here's the thing. Who can pick us up? Exactly, God. And how does He pick us up? The cross, right. You are a straight A student. We find this out in John chapter 3, when Jesus is telling us his mission actually on earth. His mission is to basically just, Moses ascended to the mountaintops. Well, I come down. I come down to you, and I am like that bronze serpent in the desert. And you're like, what bronze serpent? What's he talking about? The bronze serpent happened in the time of Moses, where people were getting bit by snakes and dying. And they prayed to God, take the snakes away, right? And did God answer their prayer? Yes. But did he take the snakes away? No. Instead, he told Moses to get a staff and a bronze serpent. Now, actually, whenever you see paramedics come over and they have the serpent on their sleeve, it comes from this story. And the story was, if you got bit by the snake, all you had to do was stop and stare at the bronze serpent, and you would be healed. And Jesus compares his cross to that. That whatever is broken, whatever is wounded, whatever is suffering, whatever, you stop and you stare at the cross of Jesus Christ. This is his exaltation. This is his glory. To suffer and die for you. For so God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish, but have everlasting life. But it doesn't stop there. Do you know what our responsibility is as Christians? To carry around the cross. To pick up the cross and follow him. We're united through the cross. We're united to God through the sufferings, the wounds, the open heart of Jesus Christ. And the purpose of the cross, guys, the purpose of the cross is to heal these 4 wounds. Through us. And that's why Jesus Christ is not just a creed. That's why he is the way. A way of life. A way of bringing healing back in. Where's my book? Do you guys remember that definition of perfection that I gave you last time we met together? I asked you guys to write it down. Who's got it? Are you one of my confirmation students? You got it? Perfection demands that maturity and self-giving to which human freedom is called. Awesome. I love that answer so much. So, now that we filled out this side of the board, I want to fill out the other side of the board. We have this call to be perfect, just like God is perfect. We're called to suffer, just like God is called to suffer. We're called to love, just like God is called to love. But how do we play our roles in healing these? Through the grace of Christ, okay? Always you got to throw that in there. This is God's work working through us. But how are we called to live this out? Okay. I'm not going to let go of the cross because I want to make a point. Elise, I'll have you write on the board. How is it that the relationship between God and man is healed. There are wrong answers and right answers to these. Sebastian? By praying? I want a better answer. That's a nice answer, but there's a better, a more concise answer.
Through communion, the cross, grace.
There you go. That's the big word I want. Grace. I need you to write grace on that board. And what does grace give us? How is the relationship between man and God healed? Anybody? You guys better be careful. I'm swinging a cross around. I don't want to whap somebody. Yes? Forgiveness. Mercy and forgiveness. We need to write that one up there, right? Because we're all sinned. We all fall short of the glory of God. Yet God gives us mercy and forgiveness and grace. And it was already answered. That all comes from the cross of Jesus Christ. That's why in our corpus, if you look on the right side, you see where it looks like there's a mark? It's because after he died on the cross, they took a spear, they speared his heart, and blood and water flowed out. And that blood and water that flows out, guys, it's for you. It's absolutely for you. And when you're baptized in the Christian faith, you're united. It's like you live in that heart. Or I should say, that heart lives in your wounds and transforms them. Man and creation. What is it that we can do, or what is it that God gives us to heal man and earth? There's a couple of words I'm looking for here. One that starts with S and one that starts with F. Yes? Sacraments? Nope. That's later. Sacraments would be man and God. Sacraments are man and God. Sacrifice? Nope.
Sins?
Yep. Surface? Service. Now, these are good S words, but they're in the wrong category. We're talking about man and earth, man and creation.
Okay, man and creation. We had one over here. Sins?
Sin? No. A good guess. I mean, the earth doesn't have intellect. It can't sin, right? Oh. Servitude? No. Yeah. Peace? No. Starts with an S. You guys ever watch like Lord of the Rings? It's like a title of a person a lot of times. Like in the old days.
Stewardship?
What? Who said it?
Stewardship?
Stewardship. That's right. Steward. You're right. Stewardship on there. And stewardship basically says you're in charge and your job is to take care of the thing, right? So in Lord of the Rings, you had like the steward of Gondor who was in charge of the place before the king came back. And his whole job was to make sure the thing doesn't like fall apart. And he does a miserable job at it. So stewardship, in a way, is like God gave us the earth, right? And he basically says, guys, take care of it. How many of you guys want to get a car one day? All right. How many of you guys want your parents to buy you a car one day? All the hands pop up, right? You know what's going to happen when your parents give you that car? If they give you that car, they're going to give you the keys. And they're going to say, guys, if you don't take care of this car, I'm going to take it back. Right? Because all of a sudden, you're the steward. It's your job to make sure that gas tank is empty. It's your job to make sure it doesn't get dented. It's your job not to go speeding. It's your job to make sure the oil is changed. It's your job to clean the seats. It's your job to do all things. Why? Because it's your car. We're given one earth. It's our earth. And God entrusts in us to be a steward of His creation. It's a wild responsibility when you think about it. And I don't think mankind is doing a great job with it. Okay, man and men. Where's my book? Oh. Oh, there's a lot of good words here. Some of them we've already heard. So what is it that we do that's like man and men to heal that relationship?
Humility.
You know what? I'll put humility up there. It wasn't on my list, but I like humility. Another hand popped up?
Yep. Oh, say it louder.
Sacrifice, definitely, right? Whatever you do for the least of these, you did for me.
Forgiveness.
He who lays down his life for his friends, right? We sacrifice for our brother man. What else?
Forgiveness.
I couldn't hear you, sorry.
Forgiveness.
Forgiveness, absolutely. Forgive those, lest you be forgiven. So just like Christ forgives us, we have to forgive others. Exactly. Good job. Another one over here. Salvation. I'm going to say no to that, and I'll tell you why. Salvation only comes from God. So we can't save our brother man. We can only kind of like mirror what God does. It's a good thought. Yes. Peace? Yeah, I'll put peace up there. Put up peace. That's definitely where we want to aspire to. Every Christmas Mass, we always call for peace on earth. Absolutely. Love? Absolutely. But I want a different word than love. I don't want us to write love. I want us to write charity. Charity. I thought I saw someone over here. No? Equality. To treat your brother like an equal. And actually, you know, when we do the marriage vows, I would actually say, you know, the man has to see the woman as his equal and his co-heir to salvation. That's actually a line in the wedding blessing. So equality. Right, equality up there. One more.
Mercy.
Mercy. Mercy's already kind of up there with forgiveness. There's one word we're forgetting, and we're forgetting them in all of them, but that's okay. Let's move on to man and himself. Now this one's tricky. Man and himself. How do we heal the wounds that are within ourselves? Oh, we got something from over here. I think this is what we should do for a whole day. Just walk around with the cross. Just so everyone kind of sees it. Yes? Forgiveness. Absolutely. Put forgiveness up there. Guys, it's okay to forgive yourselves. If you made a mistake in the past, you went to confession, and you're still holding on to that anger to yourself, guys, let it go. Forgive yourself. What else? New people, new participants. Oh, yes. Reassurance. I want to put a virtue up there. Let's put courage. Courage. Courage is like reassurance, right? Courage, you know how you define courage? Courage is doing the difficult good and having that reassurance in your actions. Absolutely. What else? What's that? Faith? Yes. Faith is one of the theological virtues. Faith, na. Right? What else? I'm sorry, what? Prayer? Yes. Let's put prayer in there. We could put prayer in there. We could put prayer in man and men. We could put prayer up in God and man. Even though I wanted that word grace, because that's the theological one. Oh, Braxton. Patience. I like patience. But I think patience should go in man and himself, and it should also go in man and men, right? Because we have to be patient with ourselves as we grow in a V word that no one said yet. And also we need to have patience with one another. Love is patient, love is kind, it does not envy, etc. Yes?
Respect.
Respect. Yeah, you can put respect in there. Sure. There's a V word I really want, guys. Please give me a V word. It rhymes with virtue. All right? Does someone have it? You have it over there? Virtue, yes. Let's write virtue in man and himself. Absolutely. That's the word I absolutely want. And the virtues, the big ones, prudence, temperance, fortitude, courage, faith, hope, and love. The 3 theological virtues and the 4 cardinal virtues. We're actually called to grow in virtue. You guys know what virtue is? You guys know what virtue is? No? It's okay. Do you guys know what practice is? You guys practice a sport? And you guys shoot baskets? Play basketball? Right? If you're a miserable free throw shooter, what do you guys do? Practice. You practice your free throws. And then eventually, if you practice more and more and more, you go from making 10 out of 25, which is miserable. Shaq could do more, right? And all of a sudden it's like 15 to 25, then it's 20 to 25, then it's 22 to 25. And guys, it's the exact same with living a life of goodness and holiness. Because the one word we didn't say is holiness. If you practice doing good, eventually good will become second nature. If you practice doing good, eventually good will be second nature. But there's one word that we did not put on here that covers all of them. We'll have you just write it right here, like on the side, up or down. And it's freedom. Just like Jesus Christ freely picks up the cross for your salvation, so we pick up our cross and serve our brother man and love God. So, if you noticed, Christ is kind of in the middle here, right? There's these wounds. We're healed, and how do we heal? And normally that how do we heal is like we're following something Jesus did. And so now I want to turn it over to the small groups, because I want the small groups to think about this and answer these questions. What is it that Christ taught us how to live? What is it that Christ taught us on how to actually fix these 4 relationships? And you could focus on any of the relationships, but I want you to focus on Jesus Christ, okay? So I'm going to turn it over to the small group leaders now. Yeah, you could have them like write it on the floor. Does it?
He's gonna be like, give me a card, basketball. He tells me, I'm like, no, please don't. Please.
Okay, we can all head back to our seats. So as we can kind of see in our project that we kind of did, this little side project, a lot of the Christian life, when we're talking about living a life of personal holiness, how we act to our brothers and sisters, how we act to our family, how we put God first in our lives, all these things we do because we mimic the cross of Jesus Christ. We mimic His life. We mimic His love. We mimic the way He treated and served others. I want to tell you a personal story about mimicking the cross of Christ. I had a dad, and my dad and I had a very wounded relationship. We had a wounded relationship in a lot of ways, but it was a lot of fighting, it was a lot of screaming, it was a lot of not understanding each other, there was a lot of anger there. And one day, my dad did something to my family that almost ruptured. He thought about getting a divorce. He thought about leaving. And I was so angry at my dad, I actually wanted to kill him. I was 15 at the time, and I was mad. And I didn't know what to do with my madness. I didn't know what to do with my anger. And from 15 to basically 18, 20, you know what? I'd show up to Christmas, and maybe I'd say something to my dad. But whatever it was short. It was normally tied into anger, and was tied into unforgiveness. Then, in 2009, my dad had a heart attack. He was taken to the hospital. And when he went to the hospital, they discovered he didn't just have a heart attack, he also had a rare form of cancer, leukemia, that made it so they couldn't operate on his heart, and they couldn't give him chemotherapy, and he had 3 months to live. I was working for the state of Utah at the time, and me and my dad's relationship was healed in some ways, but it was still wounded. And I made the decision, just like Jesus Christ washed the feet of His disciples, just like Jesus Christ mended the wounds of the lepers, just like Jesus Christ forgave all of us from the cross, when He cries out, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do," I was going to take 3 months off and it's called FMLA, and take care of my dad as he was dying. There was something in that 3 months that healed my soul. Seeing my dad as someone who is vulnerable, like me. Seeing my dad as someone who is mortal, like me. Seeing my dad for someone who needed help with showers, with basic care, with anything. Getting dressed, making him breakfast, getting out of a chair, laying him down in bed, cleaning his face as he suffered from cancer. In my interior life, when I truly forgave my dad, and I saw him as a humble sinner just like myself, that's when our relationship actually became the strongest. And when my dad was dying, I laid him down into bed, I put his feet up, I grabbed some morphine because he was on a morphine drip, and the last words he said to me was, "Son, I love you." Guys, that's the power of the cross. That's the power of mercy and forgiveness. That's the power of charity. That's the power that happens when you don't lead with your own anger, or when you don't lead with your own selfishness, or when you don't lead with your own pride, but instead you embrace the cross of Jesus Christ above else, and you live the way that Jesus lived, forgiving and loving and serving and sacrificing yourself for others. It opens up your life to love and happiness in a way that you will never understand unless you embrace the cross. That's our lesson today. That's why we lead a life of virtue. And that's why we lead a life of sacrifice. Let's open up this thing, and we're going to pray the Beatitudes together again. Okay? Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are they who mourn, for they will be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the land. Blessed are they who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be satisfied. Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. Blessed are the clean of heart, for they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. Blessed are they who are persecuted for the sake of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you when they insult you and persecute you and utter every kind of evil against you because of me. Rejoice and be glad, for your reward will be great in heaven. We're going to close with the drawing for those who participated at the at-home thing. I'll have Nancy come up.
Just a couple announcements. Please remember to leave your name tags with your small group leader. And those of you that still need a backpack, please see me after this. Okay, so just clarification, what this is for is those students who complete the family lesson at home and do the questionnaire by Sunday morning when we pull all the names, get put into a drawing for a gift card. So today's winner is Braxton Anderson. Come on up, Braxton. And this week you get to pick, is it, drum roll, Cold Stone Creamery, Chili's, Buffalo Wild Wings, or Barnes & Noble? Which would you like? You want Chili's? Awesome. Enjoy with your family. That is it for today. Thank you, everyone. God bless.
God bless you guys.